You didn't go to the break.
I know, right? Yeah.
I think you all have some copies of this, but since it's the, I asked you about this morning, I brought you guys. So, just a few quick construction updates, but we'll start with what's in front of you. I believe you've all seen this. In order to tie up loose ends in the circuit courtroom as far as court technology goes, we have an estimate from Degree Technology for a number of services and pieces of equipment. And this is part of the construction project. We'll pay for it out of the construction budget. We've got just enough left to cover it, but I did want to bring it into you since it's not technically a change order because it's not going through the construction process, but it is a $20,000 estimate. It's a mix of AV systems, wiring, things like that, and wanted to bring that to your attention. I think, Maurice, you have had conversations with DeGroot about this and the judge, but I did not want to make sure they move forward without bringing it to you and getting your approval.
Any comments on that, Maurice?
No, other than the fact that this is I do. This is a necessity. I don't see any other way of making a functional facility without doing this and meeting all of the requirements as far as having internet service, cameras that are required. So I feel that it's something that needs to be done. And this is an estimate on labor only, an estimate on labor.
It does have costs in it too for the equipment. Yeah, it does have all of the pieces, that the mic system, cameras, that's all included.
Yeah, okay, what I meant is the labor part is just an estimate only.
Gotcha.
And it will be billed for the actual time, so.
Make the TVs bigger. I was in that courtroom with you, two 50-inch TVs.
That was between the,
You're gonna have lawyers putting things in writing on there.
I will talk to the judge about that. That is what apparently she and RB thought would work.
Okay. So that's all I have.
So the cost could be more based on labor, or this isn't not to exceed type of thing, is it?
That's an estimate. It's just an estimate. I imagine it'll vary depending on how quickly they're able to and what sort of issues they come into. I hope since it's new construction and there aren't any surprises to be found and they've seen copies of the plans, it should be a fairly smooth job though.
Do you want to put that in form of a motion then, Maurice?
Yes, I would make a motion to approve this estimate from the group technology to go ahead with this equipment.
This estimate is for $20,095. Second that motion. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
A couple of other quick justice. Ton and Blank is out of what they still have in their contingency on the construction budget. They are going to install a ramp where the curb is really high. We are at code, but in the event, particularly somebody might be in a wheelchair or a motorized scooter and have a wheel slip off, this will prevent them from actually falling. When the courthouse project is done and the pavement is properly finished, we'll see if that is still required, but they wanted all of us to be safe rather than sorry with that significant drop in the curb there. And then finally, as I had reported, I think it was Thursday, we had our punch list walkthrough. Our architect was there along with an interior designer from Luminat Roland. Obviously, our project superintendent was on site, and then somebody from Ton and Blank's Lafayette site was also there to monitor. Handful of little things, nicked paint here, nicked ceiling tiles there, but generally the architect thought that that things looked good and that this week's punch list work wouldn't be anything too substantial. So that's all on the Justice Center.
So who went with you on this?
So it was the architect, the interior designer, the two of them were responsible for actually, checking everything and making the list of everything that needs to be repaired. And then both John Allen and Andrew, I don't know his last name, from Ton and Blink, were there to, keep up with what they were doing, answer any questions they might have. I was
No, the steering committee was down.
Really, I was mostly there just to have an understanding of the process. That's all on the architect's responsibility to make sure that gets taken care of. But they seem to be pretty pleased on the whole with all of the workmanship. Courthouse, quickly, we have a call. Maurice will be there, and I think one or two council members will be there to discuss some security issues with the sheriff, as far as what the best strategy for implementing security protocols and facilities into the rehabilitated courthouse would be. And then Kathy has some concerns, historic preservation related, and so she's going to stick around on the call afterwards, and the architects are going to try to reassure her that they are being very mindful of those sensitive issues and that the finished product should preserve the aesthetic and historic appeal of the building. On the work release facility, the architects are almost ready to get a second to last draft to us. He just wanted to run it by his code specialist first so that all of those questions are out of the way. And then once he gets it back, it's any concerns that the sheriff and jail commander have, and we're done and ready to move forward with that project. And then finally, I'm going to call this afternoon with the architect and Ton and Blank regarding the roof out here. There are just some differences between the two of them. They need to get sorted out about exactly who will be responsible for what, because Ton and Blank is willing to help us as much as they can, but they don't want to help us out of being able to bid on the project because they've done enough and have enough knowledge that they're in a conflict of interest. So unless you have any questions, that's my report for this morning.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Gary?
Well, good morning. I have a few things, just wanted to update you. We finished up our first round of mowing this morning in Poland, and we're putting the drags on. One question I do have, in the past, we've always helped out at the fairgrounds with different pieces of equipment, like fork truck or loader. And I want to make sure that was still okay to do for the fair coming up. We take the fork truck down, I believe, Wednesday for that. Moving on, I had mentioned that there was a possibility of 2 used trucks at Westfield that was going to be available. Well, they are available, but we went and looked at them and they won't work for our, they've got belts on them. The trucks are not in that best of shape. So the next question is, we possibly looked into getting a new upfit for possibly a used tandem chassis. We've been looking for a used tandem chassis that you can find at roughly 2015 or 16 years, with about 100 to 120,000 miles. Then we could put this new upfit on, which that would come through Terry Trucking. And I didn't know if that's something that I could go ahead and proceed with, because we lost a truck this winter. The transmission is bad and the bed's not worth fixing. It's a 2002 is what it is. But I didn't know if I can move forward on, it's about 14 weeks out to get a new upfit ready to get all the stuff in out of Terry's, and they can put it on a used chassis if we find the right one. Equipment's hard to come by. I mean, we can't order a new one. So I didn't know if I had the okay to, if we was to do the new upfit at Terry's, I have to get in touch with Wes or Bob to let them know that, to get everything ordered, and then finding a truck is not that big a deal. We found some in Fort Wayne that would be, I think, user-friendly for what we need to make a new plow truck for us.
Sound like a plan. You have any questions, Reese?
That sounds good on both of those. Going back to the fair, do you need, that's a thumbs up on that?
Well, yes, I just like to okay it with the commissioners. I've done it in
Sure,
the past
appreciate
to make sure that we've always done it. I've been on the fair or swing committee for X amount of years. And
Mhm.
it's always county highway bring stuff down if they need it.
Yeah, for sure, that's sure. So,
That's fine.
and then, yes, I think that's good to go ahead with, what you're wanting.
And we also did find a used single axle with an underbody on it, with pintle hitch. It would work out perfect for our patcher, but it's in Wayland, Michigan. It's about a 2.5 hour drive. I did not know if sometime my mechanic and myself could drive to Wayland, Michigan and look at it. If it was something that, to move forth on that also. I don't know.
Is that to replace something? Really?
Yeah, we've got 2 single axle, well, we've got a lot of trucks that are getting, it would be a good truck. It would be set up to pull our patcher. We purchased that other patcher, so we got 2 patchers. And, this would work out. I feel for pulling the other patcher, but I don't know, you don't know until you look at something. It's about a 2.5 hour drive.
I think we talked about having an auction or something. Or you see that?
Yeah, we could fill the whole front parking lot up there with, some old snow plows. And, I know the sheriff has got a bunch of stuff back in the back, but I don't know what can be sold and what can't be sold, as far as army equipment. But, we've had Vanderhags in to look at the truck that is out back with us on what the price would be for them to take it, to buy it, the value of it.
I think it's just a good idea to get rid of some of the stuff that's just sitting around and
Yeah.
have no use for, so.
Especially if it has good value and scrap is high, so that
Yeah,
takes
that's,
value up, so.
I mean, that would be the best for us to, because parts, whatever parts they could use off of it, I think we'd get more there than we would for scrap.
What would be good timing to have an auction? Good time of year? Or don't we put you on the spot there? We can talk about
Well, for
that
the snow plows, it'd be probably October, November,
before snow season.
but I don't know what all there is.
Okay.
So even first of all, we need to come up with a list of stuff that
Yeah.
could go on an auction block.
Exactly.
And Sheriff, did you have, was some of those military vehicles, were we going to be able to sell a few of those?
Some of,
Some of them, okay. All right, and so, yeah, it'd be a good idea, we get a list of those too, we could make a,
yeah, I'll get a list of what can be sold.
Yeah, I'm not for sure what all can be sold. They're set back in the corner of the lot.
all right.
Pull them out for the 3rd time. Hopefully somebody takes them.
All right,
Okay,
thank you.
Thank you.
we have the approval and signing of the claims, payroll number 12.
Okay, I have looked at the claims and I've looked at the payroll and I make a motion to approve as presented.
And I will second that. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And we have the minutes of our regular meeting on June 6th. I have the following. I make a motion to approve the minutes of the June 6th meeting.
Okay, second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any other discussion, any other items? Kevin, you have anything this morning?
Nothing.
I would say the only discussion would be, we're in very early stages of putting a parking rack, at least one, maybe multiple parking rack for bicycles, around the Justice Center and someday around the courthouse when it's finished. So we'll have more information on that for next meeting.
Anything else? Laura, you have anything?
Okay, I would make a motion to adjourn.
Let's second that. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.